What's going on, guys? It is me, Tyson the Trainer, back with another episode, and today's title, Biscoff and Bullshit. Haha. Now, just to let you guys know, I do not hate Biscoff. I like Biscoff, I'm a fan of it. I'm not here to fucking say that it's terrible and you shouldn't be having it because, as you guys have listened to and eating like an adult, you should know how to eat like an adult. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go and listen to it because I go off on that podcast. But basically, I just want to talk a little bit about nutrition fads and kind of a bit of just fuck around itis, I guess you would say, that fitfluencers, I'm going to call them fitfluencers now because they're a fucking influenza, that they're pushing out at the moment, and I think it's just like, pardon me. Oh Jesus! I just swallowed my spit. You guys can listen to that. Sorry about your ears bleeding, but just wanted to cover that there's a lot of just like bullshit out there at the moment, which you guys know because that's what I'm here to kind of talk to you about and educate and call out the bullshit, but also just like things that I don't agree with that people are doing with their nutrition. And especially when it comes to gut health, all right? Now, I'm in no way a gut health specialist. I'm just a fucking person who can put two and two together and figure out, because I'm educated with nutrition, that things are gonna cause issues to your stomach, right? And so everyone is so quick to point out gluten or dairy. It's always gluten or dairy. Oh, they're the enemy, you gotta cut them out, rah, rah. It's like, okay, so you're gonna cut out gluten and dairy, but you're not gonna actually look at half the fucking things you're putting in your body that are just terrible for you at the end of the day, Like, let me just start picking some really fucking random things out. I did this on my stories a few weeks ago, maybe months ago when you guys listened to this, but it was all about just things that can be causing gut issues that aren't the typical things, okay? So what I'm gonna be sharing with you guys today, not just gut issues, but also just food things that you should be aware of. And anything that I do not touch on, there are specific things, again, gluten, dairy, intolerances, FODMAPs, all those things, I do not have the, knowledge or the qualifications to go more into the gut health side of things, right? I'm not a dietitian. And if you guys take these tips and apply these things and then they don't work, then you can go and see, I would say go and see a dietitian. Don't go and see a doctor, go and see a dietitian because they can help you further. They can help really take you through a low FODMAP diet if that's what you might need. Or they can discover, with your IBS, is it IBS-D, is it IBS-C, are there certain things triggering your IBS? Do you actually do not do these fucking stupid blood tests or these IgG tests to tell you that you're intolerant, but they may find you actually have, you may have actual lactose intolerance, which you should know because you'll shit through the eye of a needle, or you might have non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which is a thing, all right? If you're not actually celiac, but they can help you figure this out. I can't tell you these things and I can't help, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I guess figure out, let's just say figure out. I can't help figure that out with my limited knowledge, Again, there's a reason they go to university, to do these in-depth things that I can't cover. So I'm just gonna cover things that I've noticed that people are really causing themselves issues with when it comes to food, all right? And because a lot of people are quick to blame fucking dairy or gluten when it's like, well, hang on, before we do that, let's look at what's been happening, okay? So basically, I've kind of come up with all these different things that could be causing gut issues that I notice with these fitness trends that are out at the moment. And so I just want to touch on each one really, really quickly. Not really quickly, it's going to be a while, just so you guys get a really good in-depth about things you can be doing, okay? So first thing we're going to be talking about is food volume. Now, people who are dieting are always looking to add in so much volume to their diet overall. And you see how much can I fit in a meal for the lowest amount of calories? It's like this game that people just have a challenge. Can I add in jelly light? Can I add in Slendia noodles? Can I add in cauliflower rice? Can I add in all this extra lettuce? Can I add in cucumber with fucking sweetener? The amount of shit I see that people are trying to do to avoid hunger, it's some kind of fucking issue, is just blowing me away, okay? So first and foremost, when you are dieting, you'll be hungry, full stop. End of story. You will be hungry. You know why? Because you're in a calorie deficit and your body does not want you to lose body fat. So hunger is going to go up. Ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone, is going to be increased. Leptin, which will help with satiety and lower your hunger, will be decreased. That's the nature of a deficit. So firstly, get fucking used to being hungry, okay? Now we can mitigate hunger, we can reduce the chances of you being hungry, but we're not gonna fully take away that hunger, okay? Just accept it, just accept what it is. And a good thing that I like to remind myself, when I'm hungry, that means I'm burning body fat. That's all I tell myself, you know? It's not 100% accurate, but if you're hungry, it most likely means you're in a deficit. If you're in a deficit, you're gonna lose body fat. So I always say, oh, hunger's a good sign because it means that I am in a calorie deficit and burning body fat. Might be something you can mind hack yourself with. So when it comes to the volume side of things, again, people will use, this is what I used to do. So firstly, let me just tell you guys what I used to eat, okay? So I used to eat about half a kilo to a kilo of lettuce a day, just in lettuce. I used to try and add as much cauliflower in as I can with my meals. And I used to eat 1 packet of Slendia noodles a day, okay? Ridiculous amounts of fiber, ridiculous amounts of cellulose from the lettuce, huge amounts of volume, caused myself stomach pain every afternoon and every evening. I looked like I was pregnant. My coach actually used to say, bro, after you eat lunch, you look like you're pregnant. And I'd be like, yeah, well, at least I'm full, because I had this fucking disorder, you know? I had this eating problem and I was always chasing that fullness. So I'm only speaking from experience here. And it's funny because I can target these things because I see everyone doing it and everyone's like, oh, how do you know? I'm like, I lived it, you fucking idiot. I know what it's like. So don't pretend like it's normal because it's not, okay? So again, when it comes to food volume, you guys know what the daily recommendations are. So we should be eating 5 servings of veggies a day. So about 375 grams to 500 grams of veggies, not including potatoes, right? We should be eating 300 grams of fruit a day. We should be eating 2 to 4 servings of whole grains a day. If you follow those guidelines in itself, that's gonna give you a good indication of what your volume should be with food. All right, 500 grams of veggies is a lot, okay? 300 grams of fruit is a decent amount. And so having them as your guidances for volume is going to help you understand what a normal amount of food looks like. Because people are piling and piling and piling veggies, especially, like I said, cauliflower, cabbage, lettuce, and Slendia noodles for the most part is what I'm noticing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And lots of cucumber, like, you know, the lowest calorie vegetables they can have for the highest amount of volume. And here's the thing, when you do this, when you kind of, you know, when you eat that food, there's never the full feeling. It's like your stomach is distended and there's so much food in your stomach that you can't actually eat anymore, but it's not the same satiety as fullness. Like, there's a difference, and a lot of you probably know this while I'm saying this. You're never actually full after that meal. You're just like, your stomach's at capacity. You know? And so it's not fullness, it's just stomach's at capacity. All right? And so what we want to do is we want to really cut back on those side of things, because high amounts of food volume will not only cause you bloatedness, which you'll know, and sure, it's going to help with fullness, but what's happening an hour or two later? You're empty again, because these things are also empty calories. Like, lettuce is not nutrient dense, cabbage is not nutrients dense. You know, Slendia noodles is it's potato, right? You guys might not know that. Slendia noodles is potato. It's just the fiber from potato. What else did I say? Lettuce, cabbage, cucumber. Oh, you know, cucumber again. These things are not nutrient dense. Like, yeah, they're vegetables, but it's like you're going to use these 4 specific things that are super low in calories to blow up your meals with no nutrient value in them, just so you can eat more and so you can avoid hunger. It's not fucking worth it. And like I said, 2 hours later, you're hungry again, because these foods, not only are they not nutrient dense, they're not calorie dense. And if they're not calorie dense, you're going to be hungrier, because there are actually certain things that help us with satiety. Number 1 is calories. More calories you have, the more satiety, the more satiated you're going to be after a meal. Secondly, protein. Having protein every meal is going to help with satiety. Thirdly, fiber. Fiber slows down digestion, and will obviously help, you know, with things slowly moving through your body. Fourth is going to be food volume, because that does play a factor. But it's like a combination of calories, volume, fiber, now I forgot, protein, you know, those 4 things. That's what's going to help you at the end of the day. And so if you're having excessive volume for 250 calories in a meal, just so you can feel distended and full in quotation marks, you're doing it wrong, okay? So what I would say, do not have more than 7 grams of fiber. Do not have more than 10 grams of fiber in your meal. Ideally about 5 to 7 grams of fiber per meal. The reason for this that I say about the fiber side of things too is because too much fiber is going to make you bloat, or too much fiber is going to make you shit yourself. Okay, fiber is great for us. We do not want to eliminate fiber. We want about 12 to 15 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. Okay, so if you're on 2,000 calories, 24, I would say between 20 and 30 grams is going to be a good little range for you. All right, 20 or 30 grams if you're on that 2,000 calorie mark. If you're going to have 20 grams and you're eating 3 whole meals and a snack a day, you should probably be having about 6 grams at each meal and then 2 grams in your snack to hit that 20 grams. Or again, if you want a little bit more, you could have 7 grams in each meal and then 3 grams in that snack. And that's gonna be at 24 or 25 grams of fiber a day. You do not want to be blowing your fiber out of the water because again, if you want gut issues, if you want to be farting, if you want to be shitting yourself, if you want to potentially be constipated, then keep adding fiber into your diet. Because I think a lot of the people who have this issue the most are the people who are smaller individuals, who are leaner, who are on lower calories, and who are trying to avoid hunger by increasing their fiber. And it's like your small stomach can't handle that. Like for me, I eat 4,500 calories a day, okay? I'm 88 kilos, right? I'm a bigger guy, but guess what? My stomach doesn't go above 40 grams of fiber. Even though ideally I should be eating at about 50 to 60, I will be stuck on the toilet all day if I do that. That's just how my body is. And some of you may need less fiber. Some of you might need more fiber. But how do you know if you're having too much or too little? Obviously, after the meal, you're too bloated. You're not regular with your bowel movements. You're either having loose stools, so not solid, or you're constipated, or you're going too often, you're going more frequently than usual. There's some good indicators of fiber in themselves, And if you're eating the recommended daily intake of 375 grams of veggies, 300 grams of fruit, and 2 to 4 servings of whole grains, you're going to easily tick that fiber box. It's going to be between 18 to 30 grams, to be honest. And so if you're within that range, you should be on the sweet spot. Because with fiber, we have insoluble fiber, which is it basically speeds up transition in your stomach a little bit, so it kind of speeds things up. And then we have soluble fiber, which draws water to it. I think that's right. I think I said that wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head. But soluble fiber slows things down. Insoluble fiber speed things up. Just think about that, okay? And so if you're having too much of one of those things, it's going to cause issues. And usually, if you're eating your fruits, your veggies, your whole grains, you're going to get a good balance between soluble and insoluble, enough to actually keep you quite regular, okay? And that's a great indication of it. So bloatedness and regularity going to the bathroom, and also your stool, is it solid, okay? So again, 5 to a maximum 10 grams of fiber each meal. Try and spread it out throughout the day. And with each of your meals, again, depending on how many calories you're on, I would say do not have less than 300 calories per meal. The more calories you're on, the more calories you should be having per meal. If you're having snacks, you can obviously have a snack that's 100 calories, whatever it is. But your 3 main meals, which you should be eating main meals, not skipping meals, not saving your calories for the evening so you can fucking stuff your face, you should be eating about 300-ish calories minimum in a meal. And you're like, oh, but I don't have that many calories. If you're under 1,200 calories, you're pretty fucked. You're pretty fucked, to be honest. Don't know why you'd be under 1,200 calories. You shouldn't be listening to this podcast if you're under 1,200. But again, 300 calories each meal. Why? Because that's going to be a good amount of calories to help with hunger. It's going to be a good amount of calories to get your protein in, get some carbohydrates in, get some veggies in, and not go overboard with the fiber. And it's going to help with satiety. A lot of people save their calories for the evening because they're scared they're going to binge, or they do binge in the evening, and it's because you restrict during the day. So get a good amount of food each fucking meal, all right? So 300 calories, no more than 10 grams of fiber. Do not try and save calories or fiber to the evening, and try and spread out your fiber throughout those meals. That's what you've got to do to really help those stomach issues, right? That's first thing. And again, that food volume. Work on that food volume. Do not have ridiculous amounts of food volume. Cut back on the fucking lettuce and the cauliflower and the zucchini oats. Oh God, the zucchini oats and the Slendia noodles and all that bullshit. All right? Going on from that. That's the first thing. Secondly, sugar alcohols. Sugar alcohols are going literally to make you shit through the eye of a straw. And a lot of you are going to listen to this and be like, oh yeah, I've experienced that before. Halo Top, protein bars, those Pro pizza that I've recommended, that I reviewed. What else causes that? Sugar-free maple syrup. Sugar alcohols are basically something that's trying to mimic a carbohydrate, but it's not actually a carbohydrate, which is why you're gonna see low sugar. 50% less carbs, 60% less carbs, no carbohydrates. If you're in America, it's like zero net carbs, whatever the fuck that means, right? Basically, these are just fake fibers. And a sugar alcohol usually is going to end in OL. So if you guys pick up a packet and you want to see if you got sugar alcohol in your food, which is it's most fitness foods. So all protein bars, most likely going to have sugar alcohol, okay? Again, that sugar-free maple syrup is going to have sugar alcohol. The fucking fitness ice creams and the low calorie, 250 calories for a pint of ice cream. It's full of sugar alcohols. Again, you're going to eat it, you're gonna feel good because you got to eat a whole pint of ice cream. Pretty fucked up too, to be honest. If you think you need to binge a whole pint of ice cream, like learn your portions. You're gonna have this whole pint of ice cream. You're gonna be full. You'll be, oh yeah, that was so good. Oh my God. Halo Top tastes like shit when you're not dieting, by the way. So do protein bars. You're gonna have them. You're gonna feel bloated. You're gonna shit through the eye of a needle afterwards. Because sugar alcohols aren't absorbed properly. Because it's basically fake fiber that you're having. And so if you actually look at these fiber intakes, someone sent me the other day, it was like a Smart bar, it was called. It had 16 grams of fiber in this small bar. And I was like, dude, no wonder your guts are cooked. He stopped having them because he was having one a day. Surprise, surprise. He's like, hey, dude, I'm not having any issues at all. I'm like, yeah, no shit, man. You're having 16 grams of fake fiber in a protein bar as a snack. Like, obviously he didn't know, but I'm like, no wonder people are having these issues. And this is what I'm trying to help you guys with. Like, it's nothing like, again, we're not looking at actual gut issues. We're looking at just bullshit food fads at the moment that are out there that people are talking about. And with this sugar alcohols, sorry, I want to keep going with this. With these sugar alcohols, the best way for you to know, again, reading a food label, it's going to have OL at the end. So it's like xylitol, maltitol, mannitol, erythritol, there's a fair few of them out there, so I don't obviously have them at the top of my head, but do I actually have them here while I'm talking to you guys? Just want to double check in case, because I would like to actually tell you guys if I do have it, so you know. I don't think I do have it. All right, so yeah, anything with an OL at the end will kind of give you guys a good idea in regards to what they have. So always look for, like, again, OL. So it's like sorbitol, xylitol, erythritol, mannitol, maltitol, and there's like two more that I can't think off the top of my head. And they're gonna, like, they will literally give you GI disorders, GI stress straight away. So there's no like questioning, oh, are these bad? They're fucking bad. And so I always try and say, just avoid sugar alcohols for the most part. And someone asked me when I posted on Instagram, what am I supposed to have in my pancakes? And I'm like, normal fucking maple syrup. Oh, but I can't have as much. Yes. Learn portion control. Learn how to eat properly. Learn how to not, like, all right, all I want you guys to do, go and get regular maple syrup, go and get sugar-free maple syrup, okay? Pour a little bit of maple syrup on there. Look at the, what the serving size is. Pour that on there and use it wisely. Do not just get fucking sugar-free maple syrup and douse your food in it, okay? This is teaching you, it's teaching you bad behaviors because it's not teaching you portion control or just understanding volume or food at all, because you just think, no calories, I can throw on as much on as I want on here and it's gonna be fine. Like, it's distorted is what it is, because it's not teaching you portion control, right? Same as this, it's like the FroPro pizza that people have been asking me about, because it's like 50% less carbs, okay? Go and get a frozen pizza, a McCain one. Go and get the FroPro pizza. The difference in the whole pizza is 220 calories, okay? That's not a massive difference for a whole pizza. 220 calories difference between two whole pizzas. One's gonna make you have gut cramps. One's got 2,000 milligrams of sodium in the whole pizza. One's actually, the McCain one's got a less sodium than that. One's full of sugar alcohols. One's full of, like, I think 6 or 7 different types of starches. Again, starches aren't bad, but again, the dose makes the poison. It's got sugar alcohols in there, it's got starches, it's got gums in there. It's got all these things in there just so you can save 225 calories for a whole pizza, which means 115 calories for half the pizza. So if you have half, you have half McCain's versus half the FroPro, you're saving yourself 125 calories. Oh wow, amazing. You've saved yourself 125 calories because you want to eat a fucking fitness food so you can save those 125 calories for something like fucking Biscoff, you know? And like what we're trying to change here is your thought pattern. I want to help you guys. Don't just go for all the fucking fitness foods, and learn to have normal foods that you can keep in your life. This is the most important thing, you know? Like we do not want to just change all of our food for the rest of our life, eating fitness bullshit, always looking for the lowest calorie option, the lowest sugar, the highest protein. Like people are going so far in one direction, and we do not want that, all right? So watch out for the sugar alcohols, and watch out just for all the fitness bullshit trends out there, okay? After sugar alcohols, we're also going to be talking about sweeteners. Now, sweeteners are not bad. They're not. You can definitely have them, and they do help, you know. Sugar-free Coke is much better than full sugar Coke. Having some equal in your coffee is better than having sugar in your coffee. But here's the thing I think a lot of you do not understand. The dose makes the poison, and it doesn't make it poison, right? I mean, it will fuck your guts. So if you're having sweetener in your coffee, sugar-free maple syrup on your fucking oats, or your Biscoff, oh, not your Biscoff, your Wheat Bix, or whatever you're having it on. So sugar-free maple syrup for breakfast and dessert. And then you're having 2 coffees a day, which is 2 packets of sweeteners. And then you're drinking, let's say 2 cans of sugar-free Coke a day. And then you're also baking with stevia, because stevia is so healthy for you because it's not sugar. You're doing all that, you're gonna have gut issues, okay? Too much sweetener will also cause gut issues. Now, again, it's very hard for me to say how much sweetener you should have, but I would say cut back just a little bit. Like I have 1 packet of sweetener in my coffee, and then the only other sweetener I use is, I don't use any other sweetener, but the sweetener is in my sugar-free Pepsi. And that's it. Oh, and my sugar-free cordial too, right? So I either have Pepsi or cordial. I don't have both. And so with that, my stomach handles it pretty well because it's not a huge amount. Also, obviously, being on high calories, I don't need to worry about sweetener as much. But watch how much your sweetener intake is in. Because again, if you're having protein bars, if you're having the sugar-free maple syrup too, if you're having all these things, all the sweetener's adding up. Now, also with that, I think a lot of you don't understand. I'm just pausing for effect. Sweetener is, like, okay, like we look at stevia first. Stevia is 300 times sweeter than sugar. 300 times sweeter. Just so you comprehend that, okay, there's a reason you always have a sweet tooth. There's a reason you always want a little bit more Biscoff, a little bit more sugar-free syrup, a little bit more of this chocolate, a little bit more of this, because you're having so much fucking sweetener that it's fucking with your palate, okay? So you always are looking for this level of sweetness, and you've actually ruined your palate because now you've made it want sweetness all the time. So people are like, oh, I'm such a sweet tooth. And it's like, yeah, okay, like there are people who are definitely naturally a sweet tooth, but a lot of you have increased that sweet tooth capacity to a degree because of sweeteners. And again, they're not bad. They help reduce calories. They help keep you on track. They help satisfy that sweet craving. But if you're having excessive amounts, you're going to want to eat more sweet foods. Right? I know people like, my clients send this to me, like comp prep people are fucking putting cucumber, putting sweetener and cinnamon on it so they can eat the cucumber so it's a snack, so it helps with that sugar craving. You want to talk about fucking disordered eating? You're putting cucumber and stevia and cinnamon to help with your food cravings. Stevia and cinnamon on cucumber. What in the fucking world are we living in where that happens? Jesus Christ. Again, people putting Slendia noodles in their oats. People putting zucchini. I'm so glad that trend ended. I think it ended, I hope. Zucchini, semolina. Like, holy shit, man. You want to talk about fucked up mindsets and concoctions? There is no dietitian ever recommending this shit. There is no one with a master's or a PhD or actual qualifications that are higher up in nutrition recommending that fucking people put sweetener on their cucumber. Jesus Christ, man. Like, these comp prep people, no offense, if you're listening, you're on comp prep, like this is probably you or someone who's an influencer, that's fucked up, man. You're falling to disordered behavior. And it's shit because normal people follow fucking people like comp preppers or fitfluencers, you know, they're higher up, who have this fucked up mindset with food, and you think it's normal, and then you follow that shit, and then you become cooked with your issues with food. And guess who's trying to fix those shit? Me, dietitians, other people out there who are trying to fight the good fight. Now we're trying to retrain people to not fucking be obsessive like this or eat stupid little combinations like that. Like, wow. And it's like, again, I was there, you know, I thought these things were normal. Like, if you sat down and you looked at what I ate when I would sit with a plate with food, you would be like, are you all right, bro? Like, you're having like 1.5 kilos of food sitting down eating this meal. Like, how have you not blown out, right? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, it fits within my calories. I'm fucking disordered, man. So this is why I'm calling it out, because I know what it looks like. I know what disordered eating looks like. I'm not fucking new to the game. I'm just here to call out the bullshit that's still going on. And again, like, you know, giving this to normal people. You're someone who's listening to this. If you're not going to compete, or you're not super lean and you want to get healthier, and you're doing this shit, that's falling into really fucked up traits. And all I'm trying to do here is educate you guys to be aware of this stuff. All right? So again, sweeteners, just be careful with it. And please, Jesus Christ, do not dip your fucking cucumber in a sweetener. All right? So again, dose makes the poison. Just watch out for it. So sugar, alcohols, sweeteners, food volume, those three things in themselves, sorry, I should actually say this before I keep going on. Protein bars. Get fucking protein bars out of your diet. Protein bars are a shit source of quality. They're not a shit source of protein quality. They are actually, you know what, they're a shit source of protein quality for the most part. They're full of sugar alcohols, they're full of sweetener, they've got fake fiber in there, they're gonna cause you stomach issues. Everyone loves to suck off Muscle Nation fucking protein bars. They're shit house. Anyone who's not dieting, who eats a fucking protein bar is like, oh, what is this? Same as Halo Top. You eat Halo Top when you're not dieting, you're gonna be like, this tastes like fucking ass and not the good kind. Like, this tastes like hand soap, bro. Get this away from me. All right, so I'm trying to normalize you guys to just fucking eat like a regular person. Again, eat like an adult, it comes back to. So they're probably gonna be your main components that are gonna cause issues for you. So food volume, sugar, alcohol, sweetener, and excessive amounts of fiber. They're probably the biggest things that I notice people struggle with, right? Now, other things that I see fitfluencers promoting, all these full day on my plates, Lauren Simpson, called you out the other day. You know, you had one strawberry for your piece of fruit the whole day. Like, what the fuck, bro? You had like, what was it? Not even 2 servings of veggies, all right? Like, Jesus Christ, all these bullshit 4 days on a plate. Not just Lauren, like there's heaps of fucking people out there posting this bullshit, trying to make their diet look as fun as possible because they can't eat like an adult, like I keep saying. But, I'm just laughing, man. I'm on a rant, you guys. So just obviously, you know, before that, what people are posting, and like the other bullshit. So that was your stomach issues. So, you know, work on those things first. If they're not helping, then maybe go and see a dietitian. Now we have like fitness fucking fads and just bullshit things at the moment that you guys need to be aware of. So first thing, everyone's choosing protein pasta. What else is there? Protein bread. Protein pasta, protein bread. You know, all that you guys have seen, like the penne protein pasta and stuff like that. Now, you can have these in your diet, but they're not the best sources of protein, all right? And this is what I find so funny, because everyone used to blame gluten. Gluten was the bad person. Gluten will fucking inflame you. Gluten's killing you. If you're celiac, gluten's definitely bad. If you're not celiac and you don't have non-celiac gluten insensitivity, do not cut gluten out of your diet, Jesus Christ. But we all had this fitness trend where gluten was bad, okay? Now, everyone's getting the protein pasta, the protein breads and shit like that. Do you guys even know what is causing the protein to be high in those foods? It's gluten. It's gluten. All right? It's the shit that you thought was bad that now is making your protein higher. Yes, wheat gluten. Now again, gluten is not bad, but it is a poorly absorbed protein, okay? So, when I say these protein pastas and stuff like that, you can have them in your diet. Again, I'm not saying don't have them. If you want to bump up your protein a little bit and it helps, absolutely, it's fine. But you're not going to, please do not make this a main source of your protein. So what I mean by this is do not just have a big bowl of pasta with cheese and be like, got my protein in, because it's not, all right? You can have like, you know, I would say out of all like, you know, 4 meals a day, have it in one meal, but also have a protein source in there, okay? It's not because it's an incomplete protein. I don't want you guys to start thinking, oh, it's because it's incomplete, but if you eat all amount of protein a day, it's going to be fine. It's not. It's the gluten is poorly absorbed as a protein source. That's all you need to know. So again, you do not have to cut it out because people keep, like, I need to make this as simple as possible and really slow this down because it seems like people don't listen to what I say. I'm not telling you you can't have protein pasta or protein bread. I'm telling you, do not make this the main source of protein for your meal, okay? So if you're having the protein pasta at dinner, still have some chicken in there, all right? Or still have spaghetti bolognese and have your mince, but have the pasta in there to bump it up a little bit. If you're 60 kilos and you need 120 grams of protein a day, do not let that protein pasta be more than 25 to 30 grams of your overall protein. The best thing you can do is to get good whole sources of protein from vegetables, from vegetarian sources or from animal sources, okay? Animal sources, we all know what they are. Fish, chicken, beef, all those type of things. Eggs, dairy, they're gonna be your main sources. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, tofu, tempeh, soy, beans, they're gonna be your best bets, okay? Make them the main protein sources, all right? Do not make your protein pasta the main source because it's poorly absorbed. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't have to eliminate it, just don't make it your main source of protein, okay? I can't be any more simpler. If you fucking message me and ask me, so I shouldn't have protein pasta, I will block you, all right? Pay attention to the words that I am saying, okay? I'm always happy to help. I'm always happy to ask questions, but if you ask me a question that I've answered and you just didn't pay attention, that's really fucking rude. That's all I'm saying. Cool? Cool. Talking to myself. All right, so protein pasta is a trend that everyone's talking about. Watch out for that. Secondly, this just comes down to what I was saying before about the Biscoff and bullshit, okay? So salmon. Salmon is delicious. I fucking froth salmon. Angie cooks the best salmon. And when you get crispy skin, oh my God, love crispy skin. Yeah, a lot of fitfluencers, they make the excuse, oh, I love salmon, but I just can't have it because it's high in calories, okay? Meanwhile, they go and use their calories on shit like Biscoff or chocolate or ice cream, Halo Top ice cream, or what else do they have? Biscoff, ice cream, fucking chocolate, just, again, comes back to that fun food side of things. And we obviously want fats in our diet. Fats are good for us. And polyunsaturated fats are the best fats you can have. Poly and monounsaturated fats are amazing for you. You need them in your diet, okay? But everyone's like, oh, I'll just pop a fish oil. I'll just have some fish oil. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you don't eat fatty fish, that's fine. I don't care if you don't eat fatty fish. Have a fish oil. I only started eating salmon again this year because Angie started cooking it again. I just couldn't be fucked cooking fish. It takes too long. I'm just bored because I can't cook, so I would just have fish oil. Or I'd have smoked salmon, in the packet. Pardon me, I got this fucking blocked nose. So Angie cooks the salmon, and I enjoy it, and I get to eat it, and it tastes delicious. And so I like it. So if you like it, make sure you do have it in your diet. Because again, if you're spending your calories, it's like a bank account kind of thing. If you're using your calories on dumb shit like chocolate and Biscoff, and then you're complaining about the high calories in salmon, grow the fuck up, man. Learn to, it comes back to eating like an adult. Eat some fucking salmon instead of Biscoff. Learn to give up a little bit of bullshit food so you can actually be health conscious. Again, am I saying eat salmon every day? No. Am I saying you should never eat Biscoff? No. Listen to my words. Do not substitute things like that and then complain about the calories in something and you're making shitty decisions in your food. If you want to have fun food, that's cool. If you want to pop fish oil and not eat fish, all right, fine. But don't say fucking, oh, well, I'd like to have salmon, but it's just too high in calories. Well, guess what? I'd like to have a fucking $1 million, but guess what? Sometimes I spend more money than I save. That's a me problem. Same as you. That's a you problem. And I'm just sick of fucking people saying that shit. Oh, I'd like to have salmon. Or, do you reckon I should have peanut butter instead of walnuts because walnuts are higher in calories? For fuck's sake, man. Imagine having walnuts every second day instead of peanut butter. And you're like, oh, but there's a 35 calorie difference. If you're freaking out over 35 calorie differences and you think that's going to in some way have an effect on your hunger, you're cooked. You're cooked, okay? But again, this is me. This used to be me. I used to compare like 6 calories worth of stuff. Oh, I'm getting this as this instead of this because it's 6 calories difference. You know, I'm getting this because it's 2 grams of protein extra. I used to stand in the shops for hours reading food labels, right? I'm surprised half my stuff didn't even melt because I'd stand so long and look at food labels. And if it's a noticeable difference, like tuna, for example, Portview tuna from Aldi is like 20 grams of protein per tin, and it's also cheaper than the Woolies Aldi, than the Woolies tuna. If you go to Woolies and the tuna, there's like some of them that are 12 grams. So like a 12 to 20 gram difference is huge, okay? But like a 6 calorie fucking difference or a 45 calorie difference is not something you should be blinking an eye about. And this is how I do things, like without kind of thinking, because I don't track my calories and stuff, right? Monday is salmon day because I try and have meat-free Mondays for the most part. So Monday night is salmon. So what do? I choose foods that are lower in fat during the day because I have a big chunk of like, it's not 125 grams, it's like 250 to 300 grams of salmon because I love it. It's like a big fat fillet. I just choose lower fats during the day. I don't look at calories because I don't track. And like, all I do is I'm like, all right, so for breakfast, I'm not gonna have as much peanut butter. All right? For lunchtime, I do not, because like I'll have tofu too for my meat-free Monday. I make sure I choose a leaner cut of tofu. I do less oil when I cook, all right? So I make adjustments to my fats for the rest of the day because I know I'm gonna get a good amount of fat from dinner time. And you can do the same thing. If you're gonna have salmon at night, make some adjustments during the day. And like, if you know, after you've been tracking, a lot of you who've been tracking for months and years are still obsessively tracking. If you know that if you're gonna have salmon at night, and let's say it's gonna be an extra 20 grams of fat a day, well then guess what? Just make leaner choices during the day. You don't have to think about it's gonna be like that every day. It's like once a week, all right? Or if I know I'm having something that's gonna be higher in carbohydrates, let's say for some reason, I'm trying to think like what's a good example of like ridiculously high carbohydrates. I don't know. Let's say I'm just having a kilo of rice. Imagine eating a kilo of rice. Let's say I'm having a kilo of rice at dinner. Okay? I'm going out. We're gonna have a rice eating competition. What a fucking waste. A rice eating competition. We're gonna do a rice eating competition. I just would think, all right, so I'm gonna have less carbs during the day, more healthy fats and protein and veggies. Like there's no macro calculations going on. I just know if I'm having higher carbs at one meal, like excessively high, I'm gonna reduce them for the rest of the day. If I'm having higher fats in one meal, I'm just gonna make the adjustments for the rest of the day. It's very much that simple. And again, a lot of you aren't there, and I understand you're still tracking and getting there, but it doesn't have to be an all or nothing approach. It doesn't have to be cutting out your favorite foods for the rest of your life. On one day a week, Jesus Christ, if you could eat some salmon, wouldn't that be good? If one day a week you can learn to swap out your fucking peanut butter for some healthy nuts, wouldn't that be good? If one day a week you could decide to maybe not have your fucking protein oats in the morning with peanut butter and change it up a little bit, wouldn't that be good? I'd hope so, you know? Because again, you guys follow these people who are fucking schizo, who are just fit fluenzas, and they're an influenza on you. You know, they're what's the word I'm trying to think of? Contaminating you. You know, contaminated. They're putting their shit onto you, and then you're getting contaminated with this fluenza, and so we want to get rid of it. That's a good little analogy, isn't it? Kind of? No? Damn it. But yeah, so basically that is it, guys. That's all I really have to say on that. So do not follow the dickhead approaches. Learn to cut some foods out so you're not going to fucking ruin your guts. Watch out for these trends that's going on at the moment and just make smart decisions. And when you get stuck, watch my stuff, you know? A lot of you have too many cooks in the kitchen. A lot of you are watching way too many people getting confused with what's right, what's wrong. How about you don't listen to them? You listen to more dietitians. You listen to more people like me. Again, sucking myself off here, you know, saying that I'm good. I think I'm pretty good with calling out bullshit and teaching good behaviors. Teaching people to eat like an adult, I think it's pretty good advice. You know, you can still have your cake and eat it too. You just do the things you need to do before you have the cake, all right? Earn your dessert. That's the rant done. That's the video done. That's the podcast done. And as always, if you guys like it, you know what to do. Share it on Instagram. Tag me. If it was funny, make sure you do tag me, and maybe share what your favorite part was of this podcast. Until next time, my friends, I will speak to you then.